David's world unraveled the moment he glimpsed the photo. He was sitting in the dim lobby of the motel off Highway 101, phone in hand, when the message dinged. Sarah had sent him a selfie just her in a new blouse and her favorite jeans, standing by her bedroom mirror. She'd meant it to be an easy good morning text. Instead, it became the last straw in a growing spiral of suspicion and secrets. In that single image, something was irrevocably different. Her left hand hovered near her hip, the wedding ring conspicuously absent. He stared at the screen, heart thudding so hard it felt like it would crack his ribs. Was this really happening? Me? Paranoid? But no hade'd seen the clues. The late nights she claimed were hotel shifts, but never quite matched the hours the front desk posted. The extra cash flowing into their joint account that she blamed on tips, yet tipped from a hotel? And now this. A ring missing in a photo. All at once, every inexplicable detail from discarded lingerie to expensive handbags snapped into place. She had been lying to him. He tapped out a quick text calm, disinterested. "Hey, sweetie, busy day?" His mind raced, but he forced himself to sound normal, to keep her from realizing what he knew. "Not much, just working," came the reply, nothing more. He waited, fingers drumming on the table, then tried again. "Miss you, could you send me a picture?" 15 minutes passed before another set of photos appeared. Sarah, in every shot, wore the same costume, a black, figure-hugging top with plunging neckline, fishnet stockings, heels. Behind her, a neon sign glowed. It was not the hotel she'd always claimed. A cold fury surged through David's veins. He tipped back in his chair, the cheap motel carpet bristling beneath him, as he replayed every conversation, every excuse. For months, he'd chalked up odd hours to weird hotel shifts. He'd even joked that she was the world's best waiter, because she never once brought him coffee in the morning. He'd never thought to doubt her for 2 years of marriage. He'd trusted her completely. But now that trust lay in fragments around him, and the person he thought he knew had been living a double life. He stood abruptly, nearly knocking over his coffee. He needed to get home. He needed to confront her with the truth. Filing for divorce? He could wait until the morning. Right now, he needed answers. Sarah's day had begun like any other at Club Velvet, a G-string-themed gentlemen's club on the outskirts of L.A., neon lights buzzing, the bass of top 40 remixes pulsing through the dressing room walls. She adjusted her corset under the harsh fluorescent lights and pinned her hair into place, lips bright red. On more than one occasion, David had teased her about her flawless makeup, but today she felt only dread, not glamour. She hated this job, the hollow laughter of patrons, the leering eyes, the way her skin still smelled of cheap perfume by midnight. But she had no choice. Since quitting Playboy 6 months earlier in hopes of a normal life with David, she'd applied everywhere, offices, boutiques, cafes. Every rejection letter stung, someone overqualified or not a good fit. She'd tried barista work at a trendy coffee bar, but they fired her when customers complained about her revealing uniform. She'd told David about working at a nearby hotel, citing the free health benefits and flexible hours. He'd been proud of her legit job, never once checking the front desk roster or noticing that they always closed by 11. Their wedding, earlier that year, had been a small miracle, a financial disaster. They'd scraped together savings for a 100-guest affair at a backyard gazebo, but costs had ballooned. Flowers, photographer, DJ, open bar. They'd borrowed heavily, and now every paycheck David earned as a carpenter went straight to bills. She couldn't bear to sit at home anymore, not with eviction notices looming and late fees piling up. So she went back to what she knew. Her worn satin heels clicked across velvet carpets as she opened the door to Club Velvet's lounge. Sarah sighed as she entered the VIP room, plastered on a smile. She earned more here in an evening than she would in a week at the hotel, but each dance and whispered "thank you for that" added weight to her heart. When her phone buzzed in her purse, she slipped into the bathroom. David's face materialized on the screen, tired, serious. He wanted a photo. Her pulse slammed against her ribs. It was dangerous to send pictures here. She lifted the phone and took a photo, herself in the break room, the blonde wig she wore for stage set at a rakish angle, black halter top hugging her curves, a tray of water bottles and lip gloss tubes stacked behind her. She didn't think to replace her wedding ring. The little gold band was habit. She sent the picture. Moments later, his reply arrived. Nice outfit. Work hard? She added the ring and took a second photo, but her manicured hand hovered uncertainly at her waist. She stalled. How much did he suspect? In the stall's cold tile light, Sarah barely recognized herself. The woman who had once bristled with confidence in .com interviews was now forced nightly to dance for tips, to manage her exhaustion, her shame. She scrubbed her face under the sink faucet, splashing cold water, willing herself to breathe. Tomorrow, she resolved, she would tell him the truth just after payday, just after she secured rent. But in her gut, she knew David would never accept this. David burst through the front door of their one-bedroom apartment on Sunset Boulevard before 3 a.m. suitcase rolling behind him. Sarah started, tears in her eyes. "David, you're home early." He didn't answer. He let the doors slam, the echo rattling the blinds. She stood in the hallway, sweat slick from the club's dressing room heat, wig askew. "What's wrong?" she whispered, stepping forward. He turned, eyes red-rimmed. "Show me your hand," he said. His voice was calm, but every syllable cut like ice. Her heart pounded as she raised her left hand. No ring. He yanked out his phone. "I know about the club. I saw the photos," she recoiled. "David, I can explain." He strode across the room and slammed the phone down on the coffee table, the screen lighting his furious face. "Explain," he said, voice low. "Explain why you lied every time I asked where you worked. Explain the money you never mentioned." She sank to the couch, head in hands. I'm sorry. I was desperate. We were going to lose the apartment. I tried everywhere, and people wouldn't hire me." His eyes softened, but confusion and hurt still held him upright. "Why not just tell me? I'd have helped." Tears pricked her lashes. "I was ashamed, David. I thought you'd think less of me like everyone else." He swallowed. "I married you, Sarah. I love you. But how am I supposed to trust you this time?" She reached for his hand, but he pulled away. "I need time," he said, then softer. I think I need to file for divorce." Every fiber of her broke. She clutched his arm. "No, please, I'll quit. I'll find another job, just." He shook his head, tears slipping free. "I can't. Not now." Before dawn, David packed what he could into his suitcase and left. Sarah stayed, huddled on the couch, shaking, the apartment emptier than ever. Morning brought a hollow ache. Sarah kicked off her heels and dialed Pizza Nightmares, their usual order, tears streaming as she heard her voicemail. "David's phone is off. Please, leave a message." She fumbled for her work schedule. On the club's after last shift was Friday night. She called and quit, voice trembling so fiercely she don't know if the manager understood. With no ring, no apartment, and no husband, Sarah felt utterly alone. She spent the day scrubbing lipstick from mirrors, filling out job applications, and reading her old Playboy bunny badge from when she first quit school. She realized how much she had lost: education, parents' respect, self-worth, even love. But she resolved not to give up again. By evening, her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Dave called me, told me everything. Are you okay?" It was from Carla, a mutual friend who'd seen David's earlier wedding photos and heard rumors from David's cousin. Sarah risked a reply. "No." He left. Carla's response was immediate. "He's heartbroken. You have a chance if you fight for him. He just needs honesty." At Carla's urging, Sarah wrote a letter, handwritten, no holdbacks, apologizing for the lies, acknowledging her shame, and promising to change. She poured out her heart, how much she loved David, how terrified she was to face him without his trust, how she'd do anything to make things right. She dropped the letter at Carla's apartment around midnight, pleading with her to deliver it to David if she didn't show up herself. Over the next days, Sarah lived in limbo. She worked low-paying temp gigs receptionist, dog walker barely scraping by. She spent her nights replaying every life choice that had led here, every time she'd chosen shame over honesty. She vowed to earn an office job, go back to school online, rebuild her life on solid ground. but her heart ached most for David. On a Tuesday morning, she received a message from Carla. Check your email. Her inbox held a new message from David. Meet me where we first met. 6 p.m. No games. Sarah's chest tightened. The teak benches of the mansion garden, where David had first introduced himself as the contractor building Sarah's patio, felt impossibly far away. She pressed her trembling hand to her mouth and whispered, "Please." That evening, beneath a golden Los Angeles sunset, Sarah walked toward the garden gate, heart hammering. She saw David standing by the rose-covered arbor, worn denim jacket replacing his carpenter's overalls, hands in his pockets, eyes distant. She approached, voice small. "David." He didn't turn. She took a deep breath. "Thank you for seeing me." He finally looked, blue eyes shaded by dusk. "Why are you here?" "I'm sorry," she said. "I lied to you. I was ashamed and afraid. But I love you, and I want to build a ethereal life with you." He exhaled. "You broke us, Sarah. I felt betrayed every time I thought of us as partners, and you kept secrets." "I know," she whispered. "I was wrong." "Will you let me earn back your trust?" Silence stretched. The evening air brightened as the sun dipped. Finally, David's shoulders slumped. He stepped toward her, voice gentle. "I don't know if I can trust you yet." She nodded. "I understand, but I hope you'll give me a chance." He looked away, then back. "I lost almost everything. My home, my savings, my wife. We're in debt again." She reached out and took his hand. "We'll fix this. I've applied to schools. I'll go back to modeling classes, take an office, course, whatever it takes. I don't want to run from my past anymore. I need you." He studied her. "I need you to be honest, always. No more lies." "I promise," she said, tears glistening. He nodded, a small crack in his stoic armor. "Help me move back in." "I will." She leaned against him, and he held her, the world balanced on a fragile promise renewed. In the weeks that followed, they moved back into the apartment. Their finances were bare creditors, calling, eviction notices threatening, but they worked side by side. David took on extra carpentry jobs. Sarah found part-time receptionist work at a nonprofit clinic where she studied the local business courses. She enrolled in an online community college program, determined to finish what she'd abandoned. Each day, she wore her wedding ring on a chain around her neck until she relearned trust. Slowly, life rebuilt itself. Rent got paid, the apartment felt like home again, and Sarah practiced economy by cooking dinners together. They talked more really, talked about dreams, regrets, and the future. Sarah helped David varnish wood panels. He proofread her essays. Where once secrets lay between them, now there were only admissions of fear and acts of mutual support. 9 months later, David surprised her with a dinner at the site where they first met, the mansion garden. He produced a modest Ringan upgrade from her battered bandana, asked her, softly, if she'd continue walking this road with him. Sarah said yes. They married again in a courthouse ceremony with only Carla and 1 or 2 friends, small but sincerely fresh, beginning unburdened by debts. Years passed, and they settled into a comfortable routine. Sarah completed her associate's degree in business administration and landed a stable job at a local architectural firm. David's carpentry expanded into custom furniture, and clients admired his partner's administrative skill. Together, they paid down debts, saved for a small house, and eventually welcomed a daughter named Lilia, living testament to forgiveness and trust rebuilt. On quiet nights, Sarah would slip off her wedding ring now, gleaming a new placet on her dresser, and look at the scars of her past. The photos of her in outrageous costumes locked away in a drawer, the job rejection letters stacked in a file. She'd remember the shame, the fear, and the exhilaration of that first double life. But most of all, she'd remember the moment David saw her truth in a single photo and still chose to walk back to her not on rose petals, or in perfect joy, but on the harder path of honesty and love renewed. Their story spread among friends as a testament to second chances, how love can fracture, but also how 2 people dedicated to truth can find their way back. And each year, on their second wedding anniversary, they returned to the mansion garden to plant roses at the arbora, living symbol of resilience, growth, and a love reborn.